Well, good morning, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting ready to go to work here. And um, just wanted to do a quick video because on the way home from work yesterday, I was listening to Rush Limbaugh a little bit, and he said something on his radio show yesterday that would have been Thursday, December 10th. And it says the whole thing, it just totally nails it about the religious and political condition of America right now. And I just wanted to share this quick video before I run off to work, because Rush Limbaugh really nailed it yesterday on his show. And really what he said yesterday on his show says it all about what's going on right now. So I wanted to share that, and I've got the transcript here. I went to YouTube and found the video of his show yesterday, and then did the transcription that is available on YouTube and copied it and pasted to a Word document. And I'm just kind of going to go scroll through and quickly hit on the main point. He begins in this segment by saying, I hit a nerve because he's been speaking lately publicly about his thoughts that America is heading towards secession, or a group of states or states seceding from the Union. Okay? So that's caused quite a stir, and he shared his views for believing that, and just nails it. So I'm going to kind of scroll through here. He says it looks like what I've got here, the 20-minute mark. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Talks about how he's hit a nerve with this discussion. And then he goes on to talk about the deep division in this country that no one has a solution for. Alright, so I'm just going to hit the high points here. There's a deep division in this country that nobody has a solution for. Alright, true. Then he goes on to ask, how do we go about growing our ranks, that is, conservatives? How do we do it? Those of us on the right, we try to persuade. Big key word here, persuasion. We do not enter into. We do enter in into discussions, call them debates, if you will. But throughout the year, even years that there are not elections, we are constantly attempting, like on this program and Fox News, elsewhere, to articulate the superiority of what we believe, because we believe it's best for those, for most. We believe conservatism economically is the best for the most people. We believe that conservatism culturally is by far the best for the most, but we're not bullies. We don't force it on anybody. We're not intolerant. We do not tell people we disagree with to shut up. We don't burn down their businesses. We don't riot or loot their businesses. We don't shoot them when we don't shoot them. We don't go out and get in their faces and destroy their property and tell them they have to agree with us. or else we don't tell them they can't come to various universities and go. He gives a lot of information here about bullying people. Conservatives don't bully people into believing what they need to believe. Um, he goes on to say, in the arena of ideas, we do it. We enter into the arena of ideas in the hopes that we consistently, with consistently in time, will persuade millions of people to join us to see it our way, without the use of force, without the power of government behind us, without making any kind of demands. We simply articulate that what we believe to be the best, and we come up with the ways we hope are persuasive that we will cause people to agree with us. Um, President Trump has had amazing success with this. If you look at his election returns, in the 2020 election, look at the support he got from African Americans, look at the support he got from Hispanics. He even got the uptick in support from women in certain parts of the country. How did this happen? Well, he did his campaign rallies up to 5 times a day, and people were watching. He also, in addition to what he was saying in terms of being persuasive, he had a record. He was actually implementing policies very favorable to those groups, and they were aware of this. Okay? For lack of a better term, this was the art of persuasion. This is how we go about growing our ranks. Now, a lot of people on our side are getting very impatient with this by the way. You think it's too slow, that it's too inefficient, it's not succeeding with a number of enough people. How does the left go about it? How does the left, we're trying to find areas of commonality here. So how does the left go about growing their ranks? Well, the one thing they don't do, they don't enter the arena of ideas. Stop right there. And that's where he gets into the difference between conservatism and liberalism, Democratic Party versus Republican Party. Republicans, for the most part, seek to enter in to the arena of ideas. Democrats don't. Why is that? He goes on to explain. They don't enter into the arena of ideas with intentions of winning debates or with the intention of persuading people. Okay? They enter the arena of ideas as bullies, and their primary objective is to silence us, not debate us, not to prove their beliefs are superior, because they're not and they can't. So they bully people into submission. They frighten people. They are intimidating people in the ballot box. No matter where you go, the left is there to scare you and frighten you, to try to intimidate you into shutting up. They resent the idea. Stop right here. Okay? Stop right here. They resent the idea that they even have to win elections. They resent the idea that they have to even play in the arena of ideas. That to them is something that is beneath them. That's it in a nutshell. Okay? This is why Biden and Kamala Harris campaigned so little. You know, who are you little people to even have a choice to begin with. Who do you little people think you are that we would have to spend our time and energy persuading you? Okay? This is it in a nutshell. Okay? And this is why there's no commonality between the left and the right. The right still wants to use persuasion. The left doesn't. Okay? They're not going to win elections by persuading people. They're going to steal the elections. So right now, big time, our country is at a crossroads. All right? Our country is at a crossroads. Big time. What's going to happen? I don't know. What does secession look like? Man, I have no idea. That'll certainly be interesting. But I agree with Rush Limbaugh. This is where we're heading, I believe, unless the Supreme Court does something in the near future with this challenge that's coming up from these 11 states or something. Unless the Supreme Court does something, for lack of a better way to put it, this country's headed for civil war. I believe that. Okay? So he goes on to say there's nothing in common about how we even seek to grow our ranks. They're not interested in being right. They're not interested in prevailing in any kind of debate. They just want to use force and intimidation and bullying tactics to get people to disagree with them to shut up, to not stand up for what they believe. That's how they go about it. So in these two scenarios, tell me where we have anything in common other than the objective. But I would say even the objective could be iffy. The left is not really trying to grow its ranks. They don't think they should have to. So he says something very interesting here. He goes beyond all of this and says they're not even trying to grow their ranks. This is very perspective. The left, listen, here we go. Another high water mark here. All right. Another mountain peak in what he said yesterday. The left is interested in ruling. Whether they are 10 of the population or whether they're 40, they want to rule. And they will go about achieving that however they can. But it's not about entering the arena of ideas to persuade people to join them. Okay? If that happens, it's icing on the cake. But he goes on to say that now there's nothing in common. All right? He goes on to talk about how there's no overlapping policies anymore. Okay? It used to be that you could go back to the 40s, World War II, even the 60s with Vietnam. There was at least something that if America was attacked, we came together. That may not be the case now, and that's why there are people who I hear talking about secession as a natural outgrowth of the rift and the partisanship and the distancing that is occurring between the various ideological theories that are governing American politics today. It's no more complicated than that. Basically what Rush Limbaugh is saying is because of the fact that the left is totally checked out of the arena of ideas and their intent is no longer to persuade but to rule. It's where we're at, okay? So this upcoming Supreme Court ruling, America's got a choice. We're either going to continue on and there's going to be a rule of law, and we're going to continue in the arena of ideas, or we're not. But be sure of this. Rush Limbaugh is right. The left is completely checked out of the arena of ideas. There's no more reasoning with them. They have to be defeated. Okay? So, that's it in a nutshell. And I'm going to close out by saying, culturally, this is where the church has been since the early 1970s. The church started moving in this direction that we're seeing coming to a head politically right now in our culture. The church started trending towards this in the 70s, in the early 70s. Okay? Churches stopped persuading people and sought to rule over them. This is the neo-Calvinist or new Calvinist movement, if you will, that started in the 70s, that went back to authentic Protestantism and began to try to implement authority and rule over parishioners rather than persuasion. Now, how did Jesus minister when Jesus was here? How did he minister? It was a ministry of persuasion, right? I mean, there's a lot of talk in the church about authority this and authority that and the authority of the Bible. Jesus sought to persuade and gain a following by persuasion. We're talking about the same thing. So, on a political level and in regard to church, our ministry's been writing and talking about this for years, since 2009, okay? And, the Potter's House and Tank Ministries seceded from the church long ago and started the home fellowship movement. We poo-pooed the whole idea of church authority and walked away, okay? And that's why here at Tank Ministries we've kind of refocused on the home fellowship movement, because invariably we think this is where it's all going, politically and religiously. I just wanted to throw that out and also just end this short video by saying, really what Rush Limbaugh said on his show yesterday is the whole enchilada. It really is. There's really nothing more to be said. With that, I'm going to be driving on to work, and you have a nice day. And one thing that I always say when I conclude a lot is go forth loving God and others aggressively with no fear of condemnation. Have a great day.